Hi there people, this is another Tournament of Champions game. This time is myself playing the Vanguards against the Prophet playing the Sun Goblins. This is a matchup I like to play as Sarah because Sun Goblins don't have strong ways to punish Sarah with range units. So I like to play Sarah when the major threats are melee or just small pokes, which is the case of the Sun Goblins. So yeah, let's just get into the game. Something to notice, I start with Archer. I think there is a big difference in the Vanguards game when you start with the Archer than when you don't. The Archer is one of the best, if not the best, starting unit for, I think, any faction, and the Archers are great there. And it's such huge difference to start with one. Like for me, I start with one this game. Sadly, I start also with Calling, which is your only really playable champion, and if it's in the starting hand, it's very hard to play her. I might force it in some games. But in this game I also have Renew Hope, another very important event, so I think Colin is going to hit the discard pile. So yeah, just Archer. Now the first question here will be, why don't summon Archer and attack for the right side? And I think that's reasonable and a good case can be made for it. But the problem is, if I put an Archer here on the right, we are going to be giving Krask an easy opportunity to move the action to this side, which is not what Sarah wants. Sarah wants the action to be on the left side, so Sarah can support and attack units. And yeah, I mean, Krask can move it to this side if he really wants, but I want to give Krask an easy target to do that. And moving the Archer here will be such a thing. So yeah, I prefer to just move the Archer here and prepare for the next turn. Yeah, I think the knight here attacking and just controlling this spot is very good start. I mean, if he doesn't move the rider, next turn I'm going to attack with Sarah. If he moves the rider, well, it gets engaged damage. So yeah. And this gate here is very questionable. It's a very late game play. I think my logic was I have Renew Hope already, so when you play Sarah, you need to discard your hand very aggressively. You just can't hold cards. That's true for most aggressive factions, and Sarah is ultimately right now an aggressive faction. So yeah, I can hold both gates and Renew Hope, so I wanted to use the gate, which are very important for that. The problem is this gate doesn't add that much. I can't play it here because then I lose this threat range for Sarah. So yeah, this gate I assume is going to be useful at some point, but it's a very questionable play. That there is a merit to keep the gate, there is merit to not play the gate and just discard it. I think there is an argument to it there, but well, I decide to just play gate here. Let's continue with the play. And Krask, try to move the action to the right as expected. Doesn't want to give targets to my Sarah, which I'm fine with, especially if it means I get a free damage for the knight, and then the archer is going to be able to target all these lines, so yeah, I'm okay with this. We're going to see the red here, which is going to be here, so you can attack and then hide, and I still don't have targets for Terra. Mortar is very important in this match because I need to play aggressive, and I need to clamp units, so yeah, this mortar is going to be very, very annoying. 2 for the turret. That's not good for me. And it's going to use mortar to finish the shelf. And now I decide to attack here with the priest, not do any big movement. As I said, you need to be aggressive, but you can be patient too. It's better sometimes to be a little more patient and just not expose yourself too much. And thanks with the archer, I can put pressure on this gate and still kill this unit with the priest, which is not going to give him a great target. And Sarah's going to be on the front, just ready to support, and I can even move where the priest is if I need to. I'm going to discard several cards, not because it's that important to do damage to the gate, but because I need the magic, so why not? The scavenger is going to feed off the priest, which is a problem, but can't help it. And now the rat is going to do again this move of attacking and hiding, so Sarah can target it and also gets a free shot with the turret. And here I am doing a very unusual thing, which is summon a second archer. Generally you only have fuel for one archer, but in this situation this archer is about to die, and yeah, I think killing this target kind of compensates and makes it worth it to summon the second archer. So there's still a lot of deck left, so I think it's worth it to summon a second archer. So yeah, lucky for me, this single dice is going to be useful to finish the shaft there. And then I'm going to use the rest of the fuel to kill the biter. Krask making all he can to not give targets to Sarah, and this is fine. You need to, as Sarah, to I mean you need to do this to put pressure, like, right, force the opponent to just not be able to bring units for Sarah to target, but at the same time you're okay with just not attacking anything. I mean, the health is there, and Sarah is actually stronger late game, so as long as you're using Sarah to put pressure, you don't need to actually attack things. I mean, it's better if you do, but you're okay with this. I'm super fine with this line. Just Sarah, they're threatening Krask, but not actually doing anything. And just let his units fight, especially Knights and Paladin. Scavenger missing the scrap, which is great for me. I don't know if this was the best judgment, but I think it was good enough for sure. I mean, yeah, I think it was more than fine, but I will play the judgment anyway because I can keep both in hand. Usually you can, so often you play suboptimal judgments, especially the first one, just to get rid of the hand, but actually this was a pretty decent one. I mean, the Paladin for 3 will... this is kind of wasted, but this might ensure that I kill the Rider. And this gate here, it's a little dangerous because now the mortar can hit this, and it's going to hit both my archer and Sarah in addition to the gate. But I think still worth it. You really need to put the gates on front. That's one of the things Sarah needs to do, because most of your strength, especially mid to late game, it's melee, so you need really a gate in the front. You won't win otherwise. So yeah, I mean, in general, most games, obviously. There is always exceptions in Summoner Wars. So attack here, 340 to the Rider, and now Archer might attack Krask there, but I decided to kill the Rider, mostly because I see Krask only have 2 magic and no units, so in those situations I prefer to just focus and try to reduce material for my opponent, so maybe next turn he doesn't have enough stuff to do. But attacking Krask will be reasonable there, because the Rider really doesn't hit that hard. So I think both are reasonable. But yeah, in this case I decide for the Rider. There's no clear best play for me there. That turret has been doing a lot of damage. Though he could use more turn to kill it, but it's better if you do. See, this is an 8 streak to hide the rat wrench on my knight, and then attacking to kill it and hitting my Sarah. And this is the first opportunity I have in the game to attack with Sarah. Sadly for me, I don't have a knight to protect her, but I'm fine with that, because I mean, still I don't see great options for Krask to attack Sarah, so I decided it was okay to just get in. It was reasonable. I was considering using Renew Hope, but decided I don't really need it. Because I have the gate, I will probably play it. I think I play it here, yes. And now I just finally trigger Sarah. I'm sure I get a Citadel Knight to finally have access to one. And use Judgment to all to do this. I think is a good judgment. It's going to be hard for him to take down 2 units. It's going probably to be a 2-turn judgment, which is when it shines. There I had access to Guardian Spirit, and what would be reasonable, I think, to play spirits there. The reason I didn't is I thought Sarah was kind of exposed and it will motivate him more to just ignore my paladins and go for Sarah, which maybe is fine. I don't know about that Guardian. That's a reasonable play. I just decided not to this time. But if someone will play Guardian there, I will find it completely reasonable. He has take my paladin, and as I said, now the judgment is still in place. I have another judgment turn. I use Knight there to control the spot. Notice it seems Prophet didn't draw Thrust yet. Thrust are very important for some Goblins. It seems I'm lucky enough that Thrust has not seen play. And yeah, that's been very good for me. With that said, yeah, I'm using Knight here to control this spot. And Sarah now here is kind of protected because a Viper can fly. I mean can just do 1 damage, but will not be able to attack. And then you have only this side, and if it's Krask, only has 1 magic. And if it's Krask, I can punish with Paladins, with Renew Hope. So I think it's kind of protected, so I think this was reasonable to just get in with Sarah. Now I'm getting a Paladin because I already have 2 knights in hand. And the Paladin finished the job. It's going to focus on finish the knight. With a rider. Little damage to the gate, but not very relevant. Another miss for he tried to target the paladin, which is reasonable. And now I get a knight mostly to protect the Sarah, which is going to obviously attack this fighter. Yeah, another knight there. This is mostly to... I mean, this is questionable knight. The idea was that if a fighter tries to fly here, the knight is going to be there to stop it. It's questionable because now this knight is going to be kind of far from the action, and mobility for Sarah is a problem. But I decided it was better to just not let that fighter get 1 extra attack, but you can convince me very easily this is a mistake. Yeah, maybe the knight should be here. Oh no, there is another problem here, is that a fighter here can fly over here. Oh, but no, it will die. No. Yeah, I'm not sure about this knight. I think maybe it will be better here. But still, this is what I went with. To get the knight. The paladin, kill the scavenger. And then I get some damage to the gate, which I think is relevant. I mean, getting rid of this gate is going to be useful. Finally, the first thrust. Something I will notice is that if you see I try to keep all my knights and paladins, when you don't play Colleen, you need to try to play all your knights and paladin, or you will have no good uses for your magic. So I generally try to keep more... If an archer isn't in play, I just try to play all my knights and paladin. Yeah, just small comment on that. Finally, the paladin is out. And I bring my new Fierce Renew Hope. I thought I'd just be able to target with fighter with my Sarah will pay for the Renew Hope and be able to just put this amount of pressure on Krask will be worth it, while still at the same time protecting Sarah from both sides with this knight here and this knight here. So having all the flanks protected from melee, I thought it was a very good position, so I went for it. And I think I can even play a Guardian here very safely. So I decided to use Renew Hopes. Are very important for Sarah, so try to make a big use of them. Though sometimes I use them kind of lightly. It depends a lot of the game, of course. And I played the Guardian Spirits there. The Guardian Spirits there. Crush target the Paladin. Mortar and Detonate. And here comes a play that's very questionable. I was considering playing Renew Hope here to just put more pressure on Krusk, and decided not to. Mostly because I felt that it wasn't necessary, but I will soon regret it. Yeah, I think this was a mistake by me. This play, just putting the Paladin next to Krusk, will be very powerful. Yeah, I remember the logic for me to not doing at the time, but now watching the game, I think, yes, definitely I should have played the Renew Hope there. But anyway, I didn't, and decided to just focus on killing the Rider. And now abusing, just taking advantage of the fact that I didn't do the Renew Hope. We can see here Sarah kind of surrounded. I thought that Riders would come in, but I thought that this Knight would kind of protect Sarah, so I was fine with that. The Knight is gone. And Sarah gets to 9. Interesting, I decided there to just keep Sarah on front. In part because I have to Renew Hope. I feel that I can get out of a sticky situation if necessary. Yeah, I think skill farming the Sarah was important because if you notice, I don't have more Citadel units, right? So I think we'll just retreat with Sarah, block this with Knight or with Paladin, and just farm this Rider. But yeah, I don't know, just decide that with this Knight protecting me here and this Knight protecting the back, there was no real need to really just retreat Sarah and threaten with a Renew Hope in case he moves in specific situations. Yeah, it was very important to just get... That's something that's going to happen a lot. Sometimes in the late game you need to start getting those Knights and Paladin backs to make use of your magic. And in this case, yes, I really wanted to hit with Sarah. Another thrust, a little late, but they're there. This Rider miss, which is great for me. Unlucky. That tower is not hitting as often as it used to do. And now I finally do the retreat with this Knight protecting it. I'm very happy with this situation because now this Knight is protecting me from biters, so to speak. I mean, they still can fly, as I said, and do the damage, but unless they can attack. Or they can put a turret there if case, like, I don't know, wants to put one turret there. Notice I played the Priest. Priest is something that you need to play also, especially if you don't play Colin. You need to play it as a unit, but I often use heal, and in this case, I decided that heal was a nice play to keep that knight there and make use of my third attack. So yeah, I get lucky and I get the 3 life. And now he needs to spend the whole turn trying to kill that knight. Well, lucky for me it survives, and this is huge for me because now the knight is going to move forward, do 1 or 2 damage, and then yeah, if he wants to move away, he needs to get away from engage, and then you have the bomb under it. So yeah, this was a huge miss. So I'm going to put Prophet in a very bad situation. I still have a renewed hope. I missed this rider, but I think the most important part was done. I find the Torrent Blade comes in, he wants to, I don't know, get rid of that knight. I don't know if it was necessary because just attacking works. A little curious to see that. And here, I'm very confident I'm winning the game. Like, it's going to be very hard for me to lose it. Grass is at 1, I have a lot of material. I still have my renewed hope there, I have a Warden, I have set a very good life. And I decide I don't need to risk the game, and I thought that one of the ways I could lose the game was against Seals. And for some reason, at this point I'm thinking Seals cost 6 magic. I don't know why, I guess because that's what it costed in Summer Wars 1. And then, okay, so he doesn't have enough magic for Seals yet. But for those that know the cost of Seals, that's a mistake. Seals costs 5, and yeah. I expose Sarah unnecessarily so, and Seals come in. And now at this moment I feel very sad with myself. Seals just hit 3 for 3, of course. And now the range. Hits 0 miss, lucky me. I did deserve to lose after that mistake, kind of. But it highs, and now Krask hits only 1, and now I'm safe, even if I didn't deserve to be safe. But because I saved my renewed hope, I can finish the shove right here. I'm going to kill the biter, and then attack with Sarah. In case it fails, I can use the renewed hope to summon an archer, and bring the archer for another 2 damage. But I need to, and that's the game.